Hey guys, it's Ivory. Welcome to my channel. So today I am showing you what I got in my first PR package, which is from Sigma Beauty. First off, I want to say thank you to Sigma for giving me these products. I'm a really big fan of Sigma, and when I think about them as a brand, I think about quality and just overall really good consistency. So I'm really happy to be a part of the Sigma family. In today's video, I will be doing both an unboxing as well as a review of the products, and at the very end, I will give my opinions on everything. In the description box below, I will put a timestamp for everything because I'm just convenient like that. I also want to note that today's video is not sponsored. Just because they gave me the products for free does not mean that they paid me to talk about the products. And the last thing I want to note is if you are interested in any of the products that I mentioned today, or you're interested in buying any products from Sigma Beauty, feel free to use the code ivorypcherry to save 10% off your order. It is an affiliate code, so I do earn a little bit of commission. By no means are you obligated to use my code. I'm just throwing it out there in case you want to use it and save some money on some products. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Wednesdays and Sundays and post occasional bonus videos throughout the week. And while you're here, be sure to also be following me on my social media. Both my Instagram as well as my Twitter are both _ivorypcherry. And without wasting any more time, let's unbox my goodies. That sounded weird. You know what I mean. So the first product that I got is the Sigma brush cleaning mat. I don't know if this is the largest size, but it has 7 different textures on it. I put it back in its packaging, but I have been using it and it's really nice. Cleans my brushes great. I always use a mat, but right now I have like a really cheap one that just goes in your hand and I just swirl it around, and it only has like 3 different textures. So now I have more options to rub my brushes on. Next off, I have the Sigma Magic Brush Shampoo Foam. It is 100% natural. I already have this bottle, so I'm gonna give it away in a giveaway that I eventually want to do. It does work, but I will tell you, using dish soap works just as good. The only thing is dish soap, at least my dish soap, is not 100% natural, and I know that's really trending right now. So if you are looking for something that's 100% natural, this is a really good one. Next off, I have the Sigma Aura Powder in the shade Cor de Rosa. I am using the blush right now. If you are curious, it is a matte blush. The next product I got is the Sigma Gel Liner in the shade Wicked, which is just black. Clearly, I have dipped into it. I don't think this is waterproof, but it is very creamy, and with the brush that they gave me, it glided on really nicely. And it also dries down as a matte, so it doesn't have like that glossy, shiny finish. Next off, I got 4 makeup brushes. So the first brush that I got is the flat Kabuki F80 brush. It is just your standard foundation brush. The next one is the Firm Blender E44 brush. It is a tapered dome blending brush. The next brush I got is the Blending E25 brush. It is a fluffy flat shader brush because looking at it straight on, it looks like it would be just a typical transition shade brush, and then you tilt it on its side, and as you can see, there's a crimp in the middle, so it is flat. It's not completely round like 360. And then the last brush is the Winged Liner E06 brush, which I used for my winged liner, and I really like this one. The next thing I got is the Sigma Sinuosity Lash Mascara. It is black. It has a curve to it to lift up the lashes, and it is plastic. The next thing I got is the Sigma Warm Neutrals Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. So up close, this is what it looks like. It's pretty standard. You got a couple of matte colors, you got a couple of metallics and golds and bronzes, and I guess these two would be kind of like your pop of color. You have your brow bone and inner corner highlights. I will tell you right now, I did use this on my eyes today, but I have played around with this 2 or 3 times already. So at the very end, I'm gonna break down the good and the bad about this palette because there is some bad. All right, and the last thing I got was the Clover Power Stick lipstick. This is what it looks like. I did not wear it today because I've actually bought this before. I don't know if you remember in my unpopular opinions video, but I said that I have a hard time finding the right nude for me. This was one that I've tried and it's not a good nude. It is super pink, like baby pink. It was really unflattering on me, so I'm actually going to include this in a giveaway. I also really appreciate the packaging of these because they're magnetic. Observe. Oh my god! Like, I don't have any lipstick that does that. I think it's genius, and it's fun. It's just fun to do. And that is it. My box is empty. As a side note, I also want to say that I really appreciate that they gave me so much tissue paper because I am very frugal and I keep tissue paper. I have a stash of just tissue paper that people give me and then I reuse to give to other people when I do presents. And I'm super stingy about it too because once people open my gifts with the tissue paper, I ask for it back. So when I give gifts and people open it and they're like, oh my God, I love the gift. And I'm like, oh, I'm really glad. Give me the tissue paper back. All right, so that's all the products that I got in my PR box. Let's move on to application. So starting off with the eyes, I already put down the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer just so that I have a nice and even base. Without setting it, I'm gonna add the Urban Decay Primer Potion and I'm gonna apply that right on top of the concealer and I'm gonna pat it. Using the Sigma E44 brush, I'm first going into the shade Rogue and I'm gonna apply that into the crease. And I want the shape to be very circular. So I'm gonna make sure that the pigmentation is even from the inside and the outside. And with this color, you don't wanna be blending it right away. You wanna be stamping it. I've gotten really used to doing that now that I've had the James Charles palette, and it's just kind of what I do with all of my palettes now. And once you have it to the opacity that you like it, I'm gonna take the same brush and I'm just gonna blend out the edges just a little bit because it'll make the next step a little bit easier. And sometimes when you blend it out, you kind of blend away the color so it's not as opaque. So after I blended out the edges, I kind of go back in and restamp it because I don't want to lose that color. Next, with the Sigma E25 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Passion Fruit and I'm going to use that color to blend out Rogue, which is the red. And also to make sure that the transition is seamless, I take the same brush and I'm gonna mix in both Passion Fruit as well as Rogue. I'm gonna tap off the excess and I'm gonna buff where the colors meet so that there's no awkward area. All right, and now I have cut out the crease. You can see I go a little bit higher and there's just so much more room for activities now. I'm gonna take the Sigma E25 brush. It was the same brush that I used for the light pink. And I'm now gonna go into the shade Humble, because that's what I am. And I'm gonna use that to set the concealer that we just laid down. And just a life tip, anybody that calls themselves humble isn't really that humble. Most people that are humble don't have to go telling people that they're humble. So if you hear someone say that, think again. Going in with the Morphe M224 brush, I'm going to wet it with some water and I'm gonna go in with the shade Charmer and I'm gonna apply that to the first half of the lid. All right, and then using an M124 brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Iconic and I'm gonna apply that to the second half of the lid. Taking the same brush, I'm just gonna flip it and I'm gonna go into the shade Bittersweet and I'm gonna apply that right in the middle where these two colors meet. And then without adding any product to the brushes, I'm going to take this time to make sure that everything fades into one another. So I wanna make sure that this light pink bleeds into the gold and the gold bleeds into the bronze. Next, with the Morphe M431 brush, I'm gonna dip into the shade Beaming and I'm gonna apply that to my brow bone. Definitely a more buildable color. And then lastly, using the Sigma E06 brush, I'm gonna go in with their eyeliner, which is in the color Wicked. I don't think this is waterproof, so if that's something that is important to you, I'm just letting you know. And I'm gonna use this to apply my wing. Now for me, wings are the hardest to do. It's not that I can't create a good wing, it's just that it takes me a long time to get there. I think the way a person does the accuracy of a wing and being able to adjust it according to certain eyes really separates the difference between a novice and an advanced makeup artist or just someone who has a passion for makeup. For me, the easiest tell if someone is advanced with makeup is if they can quickly do wings on people and make them really accurate. That definitely is not something that I have mastered yet, but practice makes perfect and one day I'm sure I'll get there. And that's also why I've yet to do a wing tutorial. It's because it's whatever the makeup gods decide that day it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be dramatic. I don't know if it's gonna be a little kitten wing. I don't know if they're gonna look even. Like the minute the brush hits my lid, it's up for grabs. I have no idea how it's gonna turn out. I just pray for the best and hope that the makeup gods are in a good mood and will spare me. We're gonna move on to the base now. I'm using the Sigma F80 brush to apply my foundation. I'm not gonna talk too much about the products that I'm using outside of the Sigma products just because I want this video to be focused on the products that I got from Sigma. But as always, all of the products that I use are in the description box below if you are interested. The coverage is pretty good. It's not as great of coverage as my Juno & Co sponge. That one is still my favorite, but it does a pretty nice job. It's funny because when Sigma emailed me, they ask you what you want your affiliate code to be. They don't just give you one. I was talking to my husband and I was like, should it be Ivory or Ivory Cherry or just Cherry? And let me just say, Ivory Cherry is my legal name. A lot of people tell me like, oh, what a cute YouTube name. No, it's my actual name. It's not my maiden name, but when I got married, my last name changed because that's how marriage works a lot of the time. And I was like, maybe I should just be Ivory because what if we divorce and then like I'm no longer Cherry and then my affiliate code doesn't match? And he's like, girl, if we don't work out, I would hope that the affiliate code is the last thing that you're worried about. A marriage is over and you're worried about your affiliate code. Not that I have any intentions of ending my marriage. If we didn't work out, I would probably still keep my last name just because I actually prefer my new last name than my old one. My old one was like the Smith of the Vietnamese community and it didn't feel unique at all. And Ivory Cherry, I've never met another Ivory Cherry, so it does make me feel a little bit more special. All right, and this is what my foundation looks like with just the brush. I don't see any brush strokes. I do enjoy using a brush for foundation. I mix between a sponge and a brush all the time. The bristles are really soft. I didn't feel like it soaked up too much of my foundation. It's really even and I think the application looks really nice. Obviously, you can only make it so nice when you have acne prone skin. But I would say that this is really good coverage and I would get a really similar finish with my sponge as well. Okay, we're gonna move on to blush now. I am using the Sigma Aura powder in the shade Cor de Rosa. This has a little bit of brown in it and I read on the reviews for this blush that some people use this as a contour shade and I can see it. I think if you're on the fair side, this would be really nice as a contour shade, but I think it's a little too pink on my skin, so I don't think it would look good. I think this color is really pretty. I'm aware that it's a little bit heavy. I always use translucent powder to carve out my cheekbones and mixing the setting powder always lightens it up a little bit, so just give me some time, okay? Just trust the process. And while this is baking, we're gonna move back into the eyes. Using an e.l.f. eye crease brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Rogue and I'm gonna smoke out my lower lash line and I'm gonna connect it with the outer corner. And then using the Sigma E25 brush, I'm gonna go back in with the shade Passion Fruit. I'm gonna smoke out Rogue. And then with the Morphe M410 brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Russet, which is a matte that has pink shimmer in it. But since I'm using such a small amount, you can't really see the glitter. And I'm gonna use that to tight line my lower lash line. I'm gonna wipe away the bake. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I forgot another step. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe M431 brush and I'm gonna mix both Charmer and Beaming, and that is gonna go in my inner corner. For mascara, I'm using the Sigma Sinuosity, don't clock me if I say that wrong. I'm using the Sinuosity Lash Mascara. So the wand is quite big and it has a curve to it, which is really nice for lifting up the lashes. I'm gonna do one eye only with the mascara, and then I'm gonna use a different mascara, one that I really like currently, and see if there's any difference between the two. Just on a first impressions, I can tell you it really gets every single lash, and so far I'm really liking the length that I'm getting from this. The problem is always my lower lashes because certain mascaras will smear it and then it'll look like I have raccoon eyes, and that's never a good situation. So hopefully it won't do that. Okay, so I applied 2 coats to both my top and bottom lashes. I usually do 2 coats. Hopefully from looking down you can see a difference. There's definitely a lot of length and separation. I can see that, and that's what I really prefer in a mascara. I don't care too much about like thickening. I just want them to look longer, and I definitely noticed that. As long as the mascara doesn't smudge on my lower lashes, for now I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I'll either comment down below or give some type of memo on the screen about whether or not it smears, because I'm gonna wear this for a while. I'm gonna use a different mascara on the other side just to see there's a difference. This is the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Mascara in the waterproof version. I've been using this one for a while now and I really like this one. Okay, so this is 2 coats. This one is the Maybelline, this is the Sigma. I actually prefer this side more because they just look more separated, which is something I really like. And also in terms of my lower lash line, I don't know if it's the brush or just the formula, but on the Maybelline side, they clump a lot easier, and I'm doing the same technique, so I actually prefer the Sigma side. I also want to take my Morphe M501 brush, and I want to use Charmer as well as Beaming and even Bittersweet, and I want to use that as highlighter. I can't choose between any of them, so I'm just gonna do all of them. So this is highlight, no highlight, highlight, no highlight. I noticed the difference, but it is really subtle. I went ahead and wet my face with the Milani setting spray. We're gonna try it again just to see if that makes a difference. Okay, yeah, I definitely see it. It's not too in your face. All right, and lastly, I'm gonna apply some lashes. I'm using the Ardell Faux Mink in the style 811. I put my lashes everywhere, like in the office, the bathroom, my vanity room. And one time I thought I lost one of my lashes. My husband came home from work and he was talking to me about his day. And then all of a sudden he looks at me and he's like, "You have a weird sideburn." And I touched my side and it was an eyelash. Like, oh my God, I've been looking for this. I thought I lost it. And this is the final look, guys. Let's do a really quick recap of everything. Like I said, the matte is really nice. The size is great. I love that there are different textures, and the brush shampoo that came with it, it will clean your brushes. And if you are looking for something that is 100% natural, what is happening to my voice? If you are looking for something that is oh my God. And if you're looking for something that is 100% natural, I will say that this is a great product. I know 100% natural is very in right now. I personally don't care about that, so I just use either like Dawn soap or Gain soap, and I feel like a little bit goes a long way. Like the lather is actually a little bit better, and I have to use less soap to clean my brush versus if I use the Sigma shampoo. As far as the eyeshadow palette, I will tell you right now, I like to play around with the colors before I film something just to see how it works. And also it's really hard to fit all these colors into one eye look, so I like to do different looks just to see how each one performs on its own. I will say that this last one, Fool's Gold, it's a little bit disappointing because first of all, the texture isn't that great. It's a little gritty, and the color payoff is also not that great as well. It's more so of an eyeshadow topper, but it takes a lot of work to get it to this pigmentation. This one is really the only color that I was disappointed about. The rest of them are really great. The mattes are pretty nice. I suggest patting them down before you blend it away. And the metallics in here are so soft. So if you like this color scheme, I would say that you would like this, but just be wary that this color, it's the bad apple of the group. I think the blush is super pretty, and what I really like is this color really looks quite natural on me, so even if I pile it on, it doesn't look super heavy. Like I said, the lip product I have tried before. They are very creamy, very pigmented. Of course, they're not transfer proof. I think the packaging is a lot of fun. I'm just gonna give this away because I know it does not look good on me. It is not flattering. The gel liner glides on really nicely. It's very creamy. It's really easy to work with. It is matte, which is something that I really like. It's not like shiny. And lastly, the brushes. The brushes were really great. They're very soft. They made things really easy to blend. The liner brush, I think, is gonna replace the one that I have now because the angle is so steep. It just brought that tip of my wing to the next level. Like now it's nice and sharp and crisp. I don't always get that, but just on a first impressions alone, it did a really good job. So that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like it and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!